Hello guys. I had a request to do a video blog on a subject quite close to home for me, which was self-harm. A lot of you on my Facebook do know me personally. There is a couple that don't. So for those of you that don't know, I have been a self-harmer for 10 years. I am in recovery. It's not something that's easy to get out of. Self-harm is like any other addiction. Self-harm is like being an alcoholic. Self-harm is like being a cocaine addict. It isn't, how do I put it? It isn't just habit. It's an addiction. And it's as hard to beat as any other addiction, if not harder. For those of you that don't know me, events in my life from the age of 10 onwards broke me. They completely tore the heart out of my chest, and I lost control of my life. I lost control of who I was. I lost control of what I stood for. It started in school, secondary school, year 7, when I began to get bullied. And for me personally, I've always been a very proud person, and anybody that knows me on a personal level will tell you the same thing. I've always been a proud person. I don't admit when there's something wrong with me. I don't ask for help, even when I know I should, because to me, that makes me weak. The verbal bullying I could cope with. I learnt to ignore that. And then it turned physical. Then it turned emotional. It was like a rolling snowball. It was like a never-ending snowball just rolling down a hill. And every time it reached the bottom, it went boom, and it cleared me out. Obviously, as I began to lose myself, as I began to lose the control that I had over my life, because those bullies had taken that control from me, and there was nothing I could do. I couldn't take control. I couldn't get back the control that they'd taken away, because I felt this big, with nothing to stand for. It was a case of the razor blade, the broken CD, the scissors, the compasses, the school ones that you put the pencil into. They became my best friend. They became the one thing that I could control in my life. See, a razor blade's very deceitful, because you think it will make you feel better, and in the long run, it makes it worse. It is hard. I'm not gonna say it wasn't hard. I first self-harmed at the age of 10, but that wasn't a major thing in my life. At that point, it had happened once and once only. A year later, and it took control. I'd watch the blood pour, and I'd look at it, and I'd realise that my blood bleeds red, just like everybody else's. I wasn't different. I wasn't different to those bullies. I was still a person. My blood bled the same colour as theirs. When you feel that a razor blade, not just a razor blade, anything sharp, when you feel that that's your only friend, it's a time of hardship, a time of loneliness, and it is so deceitful, because you sit there and you think it's going to make things better, and for 10 minutes it does. It makes everything better. It makes you feel the pain that they're making you feel emotionally, the pain that they're making you feel on the inside, that pain becomes visible. Like I say, I've been a self-harmer for 10 years. However, I am in recovery. It's an ongoing process. It's something that takes a lot of time. Someone asked me a while ago how old I was when it became known to everybody around me that that's what I was doing. And I was 15, nearly 16, when it became known. Again, for those that know me on a personal level, will know that I couldn't handle what was happening at school, and I tried to take my own life. Which, in result of that, I left school at the age of 12, because as far as I was concerned, and as far as my parents were concerned, yes, my education was vital, but so was my life. My life stood for a lot, and I wasn't willing to put that on the line. I left school at the age of 12, which, do I regret it? Looking back, yes. Because I now sit here at the age of nearly 20 with nothing to stand for. No GCSEs, no qualifications, no job, no career prospects. But that doesn't mean to say that that part of my life has held me back, because I am extremely ambitious. I do know where I want to be in life, and I will get there eventually, but I can't start from being not on the ladder at all and going straight to the top. I need to work my way up the ladder, whether that be from cleaning toilets to KFC to an office to a hair salon, and then to where I want to be in life. Everything takes time. It's never just a slow ride. It's not as simple as people think. I know a number of people that still self-harm, and those people do come to me for help, and they do come to me for advice, because I know every trick in the book. I know every excuse. I know I fell downstairs. The cat scratched me. I did it in a thorn bush. I know them all because I've used them myself. A lot of you will be thinking, why didn't you seek help? I did. I went to my GP when I was 14. I went there without my parents knowing. And I told my GP everything. I said, this is what's going on. This is how long it's been going on. And I'm scared because I don't know how to make this stop. And my GP looked through me like I was invisible. Even now, at the age of nearly 20, for the last 10 years, within the mental health services, within the professional side of things, I have been passed from pillar to post. I still sit here today with no medical help because they're useless. They don't see when there is genuinely something wrong with people. My self-harming wasn't the only reason I left school. Me and a lot of my other family members had felt for many years that there was something wrong with me because I couldn't communicate with people. I would form a group of friends. I would form a friendship, and within 48 hours, that friendship had deteriorated, and it was conflict, and there was arguments, and there was fights, and none of us knew why. Not one of us. Obviously, yeah, part of the reason was that I was being bullied, so that was eating away at me, but I knew. I think when there's something mentally wrong with you as a person, you know. It isn't obvious to the outside world, but to you yourself, you know. I had an underlying mental health illness called Asperger's syndrome, which, for those of you that don't know what that is, it is a form of autism. It means my socialisation skills are pretty weak. I can't socialise. Even now at the age of nearly 20, I still can't socialise. I don't know how to, unless I'm drunk, and then I can socialise. Sober, I don't know what to do. It also means that I get very confused very easily. And when I get confused, I get upset. Just like a normal autistic child would. How do I put this? I have been in numerous violent relationships with men and women. I've gone from a fractured jawbone to fractured wrists to black eyes to thick lips. Yes, I was sexually abused at the age of 15. And that took its toll on my life a lot. That's where the self-harming took a nosedive for the worse. Because every day was hard. I woke up every day feeling hopeless. Feeling like there was just no point. Feeling like I should be dead. Like I have nothing to live for. If somebody can do that to a human being, what does it say for me as a woman? I felt dirty and I felt used and I felt taken advantage of. I tried to scrub my skin with bleach numerous times. I tried to take my life numerous times after that too. Throughout that, obviously there was a breakdown in relationships with myself and family members. And it was hard. It was so hard. I don't want you all to sit there and think she's amazing and she's so strong, because the truth is I am strong, yes, and I fail to realise that a lot of the time. But then the harsh reality of things is I had to be strong, because those times that I've tried to take my life, it didn't work for a reason. And no matter how sometimes I sit here and I think I wish it had worked, it didn't. And I'm still here. And I still live to fight another day. And every day is a battle. For the people that do self-harm, don't make the mistake that I did. Don't leave it 5 years before you tell anybody. Because it's a hard road. It's hard. It's lonely. And honestly, it's not worth it. Every day, luckily enough, I'm quite dark skinned. So my scars are they're visible, but they're not completely visible for the eye to see. You'd have to look pretty close to be able to see them. But they're the ones on my arms. The ones on my legs and the ones on my stomach are different. They are visible for everybody to see. I used to be such a happy, bubbly, outgoing little girl that would run around the streets with a cheeky grin, curly hair, and not care. And then, like I say, my life got worse. I was so naive to certain situations in my life. And the dangers and the risks that I was taking, the volatile situations I was placing myself into. Self-harming's never a joke. It's never a joke. I know certain people will sit there and say,